Street Genius Part 35. Hiro Onoda returned to Japan in 1974 and became a kind of a celebrity in his home country. He was shuttled around from talk show to radio station. Clamored to shake his hand. The politicians clamored to shake his hand. He published a book and was even offered a large sum of money by the government. But what he found when he returned to Japan horrified him. A consumerist, capitalist, superficial culture that had lost all of the traditions of honor and sacrifice upon which his generation had been raised. Onoda tried to use his sudden celebrity to espouse the value of old Japan, but he was tone deaf to this new so- but he was tone deaf to this new society. He was seen more as a showpiece than as a serious cultural thinker. Japanese man who had emerged from a time capsule for all to marvel at, like a relic in a museum. And in the irony of ironies, Onoda became far more depressed than he had ever been in the jungle for all those years. At least in the jungle, his life had stood for something. It had meant something that had made his suffering endurable, indeed, even a little bit desirable. But back in Japan, in what he considered to be vacuous nation, full of happies, full of hippies and loose women in Western clothing, he was confronted with unavoidable truth that his fighting had meant nothing. The Japan he had lived and fought for no longer existed, and the weight of his realization pierced him in a way that no bullet ever had, because his suffering had meant nothing. It suddenly became realized in true 30 years wasted. And so in 1980, Onoda packed up and moved to Brazil, where he remained until he died. The self awareness onion. Self awareness is like an onion. There are multiple layers to it, and the more you peel them back, the more likely you're going to start crying at inappropriate times. Let's say the first layer of self awareness onion is a simple understanding of one's emotions. This is when I feel happy. This makes me feel sad. This gives me hope. Unfortunately, there are many people who suck at even this most basic level of self awareness. I know because I'm one of them. My wife and I sometimes have fun back and forth and goes something like this. My wife and I sometimes have fun back and forth that goes something like this. Her, what's wrong? Me, nothing's wrong, nothing at all. Her, no, something's wrong, tell me. Me, I'm fine, really. Her, are you sure you look upset? Me, with nervous laughter, really? No, I'm okay, seriously. Me, and that's why I'm so fucking pissed off. I'm fucking pissed off. He just acts as if he don't exist half the time. We all have emotional blind spots. Often they have to do with the emotions that we were taught were inappropriate, gnawing up. It takes years of practice and effort to get good at identifying blind spots in ourselves, then expressing the affected emotions appropriately. But this task is hugely important and worth the effort.